almost a month ago, I posted a recipe video on TikTok that went extremely viral with millions of views among all my social media platforms, hundreds of people asking for the recipe, and Tokischa saving the video. Well, today I'm here to share the recipe. It's for the tiramisu. I hope you guys are gonna like it, but first, welcome back to everybody that knows me. If you don't know me, I'm Jess. I'm Italian and I moved to the US almost 2 years ago, and I like making these kind of videos. This is kind of a new experiment where I'm gonna share also some recipes of Italian food. In this case, it's tiramisu because that's what people have been asking for, so I'm here to deliver, but I'm planning on sharing more. So if you are into this, don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know your thoughts. A little disclaimer is that I do some things in a very specific way and I skipped some steps. For example, in the recipe of tiramisu, a lot of people usually add apple. I couldn't in this case because I had to bring it to my work, so they have really strict regulation about alcohol and I didn't want to get anybody in trouble, so I skipped that step. But usually I would put rum. Okay, I feel like we can start. You're gonna see me in a little square like a reaction video explaining you the steps. I would say we can start. Okay, perfect. First of all, with all the ingredients, I'm gonna use a double dosage of the one I wrote down. All these ingredients, I found them at Walmart, except for the Savoiardi, the Ladyfingers, I found them at King Soopers. Always start this recipe by making the coffee first because it has to cool down. And I did both the coffee machine and the mocha pot because I like them. Just go with what you like, actually. You don't necessarily need to make either the mocha or the espresso machine. You can even use instant coffee. The fact about recipes, if you make them for yourself, you can use whatever you prefer, okay? When the coffee is done, you can go on with the eggs, by the way. And I always hate separating them because there's always one that breaks. With the sugar here in this part, you're gonna see that I put most of the sugar in the egg yolks and just a little bit at the end. It doesn't matter how much, I just put however I feel like it's correct in the egg whites because I feel like it makes it easier for me to whip them. And now is the part that you're gonna hate, whipping the egg yolks. This is very important if you want your cream to be really fluffy and soft. You have to whip them until your wrists is asking for help. They have to basically turn white and double in size, and when they do, that's when you know you can add the mascarpone and go on with the recipe. And that's gonna happen also in part 2 of this when you're gonna do the egg yolks. It's gonna be terrible. I do have a KitchenAid, but I didn't use it because I have never used it for tiramisu, so I prefer having control of what I'm doing and then start whipping again. And you're looking for this consistency. You're gonna look for this consistency, and when it's gonna look like this, kind of solid all together, you know it's good, okay? That's the secret of the fluffy cream for me, okay? Just so you know, a lot of people ask me for the recipe. I don't know if this is the original. This is how I've always made it, and this is how I know it's good. So I'm sorry if it's not like the chef that usually makes it, but this is what works for me, okay? But yeah, as I said before, it's gonna be a while and your hands are gonna be sore, especially if you're using a hand whipping tool. I don't remember what the name of that is right now, but it's rewarding. It's gonna be amazingly rewarding, trust me. We got to that part. When you're making tiramisu, when you're done doing both the egg yolks, whipping the egg yolks and whipping the egg whites, this is the most important part. I would say after the whipping is the incorporating the egg whites into the egg yolks. I don't know if that's the reference, but a lot of people in my comments kept saying fold it in, and I think that's what it refers to exactly this part. Please make sure to do exactly this movement and to go in circular motion from the bottom to the top, because you don't want the egg yolks to fall apart or the cream is not gonna become fluffy, okay? So please, this is the whole thing. I cut out a lot of video because this is like a good 10 minutes process, but keep going until it's all good together and don't squish it, okay? We want the egg yolks to stay fluffy. We want to just incorporate it in the cream, okay? Great. And you're just gonna do it until you're done, basically. We got to my favorite part. You can skip this step or you cannot. It's totally up to you, honestly. I prefer putting all the Ladyfingers in a bowl because it's an easier process other than... Also, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I didn't put a dosage for Ladyfingers and coffee because honestly I always go by heart, and it depends on the pan you're using, it depends on a lot of things. So halfway through this part that is really satisfying to watch, I cut out all the long pieces and I put just the little bits here and there, but this part is the most satisfying one. I found out that I finished the coffee. So halfway through the tiramisu, basically, I didn't have any more coffee, but that's the good thing about coffee. You can just make more, so I made more. And I finished the tiramisu. But yeah, that's the only reason, so I'm sorry for that. That's the only reason why I didn't put a dosage for coffee or Ladyfingers juice. For this video, it was 2 packages of 200 grams and a half. But it could be totally different if you're using a smaller pan or if you're doing half a dosage, okay? There's no way for me to tell you exactly the dosage of those. But yeah, I think this is all basically. Then the last layer is always gonna be cream. I've had a lot of people in my comments telling me that they start the tiramisu by putting the cream on the bottom. I don't, because for me, or better, in my opinion, I feel like that's just a waste because you're not gonna eat that. It's gonna stuck to the pan. Of course, you're gonna eat it from the pan eventually. But if you're like, I brought this to my co-workers. If you are doing something like that, especially with this pan, you cannot scrape the pan, okay? For how much I would like to do it, I cannot. So I prefer starting with the Ladyfingers because it's a solid base. So after this, you're done. There's nothing else honestly to do. I put it in the fridge for at least 3-4 hours. The longer it stays, the best. And then when you're done, you put the cocoa powder, which I in fact forgot to film, so I'm sorry for that, but we're done here. So I hope you liked the video. Let me know your thoughts. I really hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you try it, let me know. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and now we're done, so bye.